Hello everyone. Now today we will see how to prepare trading account. In the last lecture we have already understood what we mean by trading account and why we have to prepare the trading account. Now today we will see how we prepare the trading account. So before that, let us have an idea of different accounts, or we can say that different terms involved here. So now let us consider individual items recorded in the trading account. First, what is opening stock? What is opening stock? By the name itself you understand what you mean by opening stock. This means the closing stock of the previous year. So if your business is running from many years, then the closing stock of last year will become the opening stock for this current year. If the first year of business, then there will be no opening stock. In a trading concern, the opening stock consists of finished goods only, but in manufacturing concern, it comprises raw material, work in progress and finished goods. Opening stocks is the first item on the debit side of the trading account. So this is the first item that you record in your trading account, and where you record this opening stock, you record this on the debit side. The second item is purchases and purchase return. Purchases include cash and credit purchase. Now you know what is cash and credit purchase. When you pay amount and purchase something, it is cash purchase, and when you promise to pay after some time, it is a credit purchase. So whether you have done cash purchase or credit purchase, you will record it on the debit side. Purchases are recorded on the debit side of the trading account after deducting the return outward or purchase return. Now you purchase say 10 items, and out of 10 you find one is defective and you return. So what you do, you entry first the amount of those 10 items, and then you subtract entry for one item which you return, that is purchase return. So you have to deduct purchase return. Care should be taken to ensure that the purchases do not include the amount of goods taken or purchased by the proprietor for his own use. Now if something proprietor is purchasing for his own use, then that will not come under purchase. The cost of goods received on consignment, goods in transit, goods purchased on hire purchase basis, and goods distributed as free samples. So these are few more items that you should not include in the purchase. What are it? The cost of goods received on consignment. So if you receive some goods on consignment, that means you receive it, you will sell, and once the sell completes, then you if there is anything like unsold, then you return that. Okay, this is what we say that on consignment. So the cost of goods received on consignment, that we will not include under purchase. Goods in transit. Now the goods which are in transit, they are also not included in purchase. Goods purchased on higher purchase basis. If it is purchased on higher purchase basis, then it is not recorded. And goods are distributed as a free sample. So sometime some goods are distributed as a free sample. So as they are free, you will not record that as a purchase. Next item is direct expenses. Direct expenses, these include manufacturing wages, carriage inward, power and fuel, factory lighting and heating, factory rent and rates, factory insurance, freight, octroi, custom duty on imported materials, royalty on production, etc. These expenses are recorded on the debit side of the trading account. So all the direct expenses which are incurring, they are all recorded in direct expenses, and they are recorded on the debit side. Now these are items which you record on debit side. On credit side, if you see, we record sales and sales return. The sales include both cash and credit sales. So you record both cash and credit sale. Sale return are the return outward are deducted from total sale, and net sales are credited to the trading account. So sale include both cash and credit sales return or return outward. Okay, return outward, you have to subtract return outward, okay, are deducted from the total sale. Now here in purchase side, here they have not mentioned anything which we have to subtract. Purchase return, I have purchased and I am returning, so this should be considered as return outward. Return outward, here it should be return inward. This is not return outward, it should be return inward. Return outward means I purchased and I returned, so it is return outward. But if someone else purchased and he is returning, so it is return inward. So the return inward I will deduct from the total sale. So total sale and return inward are deducted, and the net sales credited to the trading account. Care should be taken to ensure that the sales do not include sales of any fixed assets, goods sent on consignment, and goods sold on approval. So here in sales you will not include some item like sale of fixed asset. If you sell some fixed asset, say you sell your factory, so that you will not include here. Goods sent on consignment, so if you send some goods for consignment, that also you will not include here. And goods sold on approval, that also you will not include. Now goods sent on a consignment means you given your goods to retailer to sell. Okay, when he will sell, then you will record it. Till then you will not record. As you send from your factory to the retailer, it doesn't mean that you record it. When you record once retailer sell all the goods or part of the goods. Why? Because if retailer is not able to sell your goods, he will return it to you. Okay, so till he is not selling, okay, you need not record it. Similarly, goods sold on approval, you sold some goods. Now goods sold on approval means after some time we will provide the time. Within that time, if customer doesn't like it, he will return to us. So in that case also we will not record it. So goods sold on approval is also not recorded. Closing stock, it means the goods which remain unsold at the end of accounting year. Okay, it is not necessary that all the goods which we have made will be sold during the current year. It may possible that some part like 5-10% will remain, so that is considered as closing stock. Closing stock is valued on the principle of cost or market price, whichever is lower. Now as here you are recording the amount, you are recording the price, you are recording the total cost. Okay, so everything is recorded in terms of money. So here this closing stock also you have to evaluate in terms of money. Now this closing stock is evaluated in two way. One, you find what is the total cost of this closing stock. Second, you will find what is the current market price of this closing stock. So whichever amount is less, that you will record in your trading book. Trading account, in your trading account, closing stock is also shown as asset in the balance sheet. Now when we see this balance sheet, that time we will see that this closing stock we will record as an asset. While preparing the trading account, adjustment entries are made for expenses outstanding and the expenses paid in advance. Now when you are preparing trading account, it may happen that you have there are some expenses that are outstanding, like you have to pay wage, but because of some circumstances you have not paid the wage on time and it is outstanding. So that also you have to record, because that is the expense for this current year. In the same way, sometime you pay for expenses in advance, so that also you will deduct from the expenses. So outstanding expenses you have to add on the debit side, and advance expenses that you have paid, you have to subtract it from the expenses, because you have paid advance, that means for the coming period you have paid. Okay, so that should not be included here, that should be included in the coming period. So example, for example, a part of direct wage or factory rent may be outstanding. Suppose there is some wage or rent outstanding. So what you will do, you will record it on the debit side. Similarly, factory insurance might have been paid in advance. In the same way, it may possible that you have paid factory insurance in advance for some month of the next year. So then in that case you will subtract it. So expenses outstanding are added while the expenses paid in advance are deducted from the expenses shown on the trading side of a trading account. So on debit side of trading account, if any expense outstanding, you will add it, and if any expense you paid in advance, then you subtract that. Carriage outward, packing charges for goods sold, export duty, cash discount on sales will appear in the profit and loss account because these are all selling expenses. So all the expenses which are incurring on the product, they are included in debit in this what we say trading account, and any expenses which are for selling, they are included in profit and loss account. So it include carriage outward, packing charges for goods sold, export duty, cash discount, and so on. Now let us understand all these things with the help of one example. Okay, so for this example, what I suggest that you make a table first. Table, you know what is the heading, you have to write company name and then you have to write the year. So here, from the following particular, prepare the trading account for the year ended December 31st 2018. So you have to make a trading account for the year ended December 31 2018. So here we have given the heading as trading account, and then for the year ended 31st December 2018. Okay, if they mention some company name, then I will write the company name also. Now what are the entries? First they said that opening stock is 55,000. So opening stock, you know where to write. Then it should be written on the debit side. So on debit side you will write to opening stock. See this first entry 55,000. Then cash purchase 35,000. Cash purchase 35,000. So in purchase we have cash purchase, cash sale is given, return inward is given, return outward is given, credit purchase is also given, credit sale is given, carriage inward is there, wages is there, and okay, so on so on. So here in purchase we have cash purchase of 35,000 and we have credit purchase of 55,000. So I will write in purchase side cash purchase and credit purchase. So these two items we will add. Now when we have subunits, like in purchase we have cash credit, so I will not write it on the amount side, I will write here it in the particular side only. I will find the total. Then we return, so that is return outward. Return outward is given, return outward is 5,000. So this 5,000 I returned, so I will subtract it. So from this total 90,000 we will subtract this return outward, which is 5,000. So now my total is 85,000. Now this 85,000, now I will write here in the amount column 85,000. 85,000 is written on the amount side. Then if you see, they have written there is a cash sale. Now you know where to enter the sale amount. Sale amount should be written on the credit side. So on credit side you will say that by sale. Now here in sale also you have cash sale and credit sale. So cash sale, it is 75,000, credit sale it is 1,20,000. So total sale is 195,000. Then there is some return inward. So after selling, some customers they return product worth rupees 4,000. So that 4,000. So no. Carriage inward is return inward. Return inward is 8,000 rupees. So they return product worth rupees 8,000, that we will subtract. So 195 minus 8, it gives me 187,000. So this is 187,000 amount. Now on sales side there is no other entry. So again we have carriage inward, that is expense, we will write 4,000. Then we have wages 32,500. So I will include in wages, it is 32,500. Freight freight is given rupees 1500. So freight is 1500. Carriage inward is rupees 4000. So we have written that. Wages 32,500. Okay, then freight is rupees 1500. Cash in hand rupees 9500. Now cash in hand, it is not recorded anywhere. Okay, so this entry, this is an extra entry, you can say, okay, which you will not record. Cash in hand is 9500. Then fuel and power, yes, fuel and power expense 4200, you will record it. And closing stock is of 50,000, so that closing stock we will mark on this credit side. So closing stock, what we have learned about closing stock, it means the goods which remain unsold at the end of accounting year. So closing stock is valued and this should be shown on credit side. Okay, this should be shown on credit side. So closing stock of worth rupees 50,000 we will show here. Now 187,000 and 50,000. So this 187 and 50,000. So this total is 2,37,000. Now let us calculate the total here: 55,000, 85,000, 32,500, 4,000, 1,500 and 4,200. So when we do the total, we find that this side is less as compared to this side. So how much it is less? It is less by 54,800. So this 54,800, what you do? You will subtract from 237,000 and you write on this debit side as to gross profit transferred to profit and loss account. Okay, so as this is sales side, we have more amount, it indicates that we have profit. And how much profit? So it is the difference of these two, that is 54,800 in this example. So that is our gross profit and that we will record. Now here we have total of 2,37,000 and here also we have total as 2,37,000. So this is how we have completed our trading account. Now we have talked about some adjustments. So in this illustration they have not mentioned anything about adjustment, that we will see in our next illustration. Now here we have illustration 2, second example. From the following incomplete trial balance, so trial balance it is given. From the following incomplete trial balance, we have to prepare trading account. Okay, so trial balance, here opening stock is given. Now in opening stock, raw material, work in progress and finished goods is given. So from this information we understand that this is for a manufacturing firm, right? Okay, so the cost is given. Then purchase amount is given 25,000. Sorry, purchase amount is 55,000. Okay, this 25,000 is total of these three items. Okay, then return outward, we have returned, it is credited here 5,000. Sales is given 1,53,000. Cash discount on sale, it is 3,000. Okay, this cash discount we generally do not include in trading account, we do not include. Okay, carriage inward is given 6,000. Wages 12,000. Factory rent and insurance given 9,000. Carriage outward is given 7,000. Supervisor's salary, it is given 18,000. Power, gas and coal 5,000. Packing charge for the goods sold, packing charge is 1,500. Return inward is 3,000. Import duty is 1,500. Royalty on production 9,000 and export duty is 2,000. Along with this we have some additional information that closing stock after the finish of year, closing stock is raw material 8,000, work in progress 9,000 and finished goods 6,000. Wages outstanding is 3,000. Factory insurance prepaid, it is 6,000. Mr. Mohan took goods worth rupees 3,000 for his private use. Stock destroyed by fire rupees 4,000. was not covered by insurance. So when there is some stock destroyed by fire and it is not covered by insurance, it is included on credit side. Wages paid rupees 8,000 for the installation of machine were wrongly debited to the wage account. Now the amount which you pay for installation of machine, it is generally not considered as wage because it is not utilized for we cannot say that it is directly related with production of goods. Where we are paying wage, where we are recording wage, when the worker is working on the product, he is making it in a finished product. For that, whatever he is earning, that is considered as wage. So this 8,800 what we paid for installation, that should not be considered in wage. So here wrongly we have already included. Then supervisor's salary is to be apportioned between factory and office in the ratio 2:1. So supervisor, whatever amount we have given supervisor, it should be divided in 2:1. 2 part is for factory and 1 part is for office. Now all the office expenses, they are not included in trading account, they are part of profit and loss account. So when we do profit and loss account, that time we can see it. Then goods costing rupees 7,500 were sent to customer on sale or return basis on 30th March 2019. These were recorded as actual sale. So goods worth rupees, or we can say that the goods costing rupees 7,500 we have given to customer on sale or return basis. On sale or return basis means there is some time period between which he can return the goods. So what we have done, we have actually recorded as a sale. It should not be recorded as a sale, it should be recorded as sale or return, a separate item. The rate of gross profit was 1/6 of the sale. Actually 1/6, it should be 0.6% of the sale. It should be, I think this is wrongly written, it should be 0.6. 0.6, no, what we say that 6%, it is 6% of sale. Okay, so this is our trial balance and this is some additional information. So you have to club this additional information with this trial balance and then you can record in your trading account. So let us start with preparing the trading account. Trading account of Mohan. Now who is the proprietor here? Mr. Mohan. Mohan prepare the trading account. So this is trading account for Mr. Mohan. And let us start this first entry. What is the first entry? First entry is the opening stock. Now here you can see the opening stock. Opening stock is given under 3 head. So the same thing you will write here. You will say opening stock, raw material, work in progress, finished goods, and its total you will write here in this side. So 25,000 is your total. You will write in this amount column. Okay, then after opening stock, what is your next entry? Your next entry is purchases. So let us see what total purchases we have. So purchases, we have 55,000 purchases, and then out of those purchases we have returned, so that is worth rupees 5,000. So here purchases we will include 55,000 and from this we will less this return outward. So 5,000 we have returned and the net amount is 50,000. Now if you see this additional information here, there is an item in 4th number that Mr. Mohan took goods worth rupees 3,000 for his private use. So in purchase already we have included this 3,000 amount. Okay, because afterwards Mohan has taken goods worth rupees 3,000 for his personal use. So whatever proprietor purchases for his personal use, that should not be included in trading account. Therefore this 3,000 we will subtract from this purchase. So less drawing, then we have less drawing 3,000. So 50,000 minus 3,000, that will give me 40,000. So I record here 47,000. Then we have carriage inward, next entry. So I think I will use say this yellow color to highlight what I have already covered in trading account. So carriage inward. Now carriage inward is given 6,000 rupees, so that we will include. Cash discount, this is not going to be included in trading account. So carriage inward we have 6,000 rupees that we have included here. Okay, now after carriage inward, in between we have an item called sales. So sales, where we record it, we will record it on the credit side. So here by sales you have 1,53,000. Okay, then if there is sales return, that we will subtract. So we have an item called sales, and return inward, you will say this one item return inward. Okay, that is called sales return. So this 3,000 also you will subtract. So return inward 3,000, it gives me total of 1,50,000. Now in additional information, there is at point number 8, it is given that goods costing rupees 7,500 were sent to customer on sales or return basis on 30th March 2019, and these were recorded as actual sales. So these are recorded as actual sale, and the rate of gross profit we have considered as 6%. Rate of gross profit we considered as 6%. So we subtract this 7,500 and 6% of the gross profit. So 6% of the gross profit you will get 450. So from actual sale you will first subtract this amount. It will come to 7,950. Okay, so I will subtract from 1,50,000 this 7,950, and it comes 1,42,000. Now closing stock, if I see the closing stock is mentioned here. Closing stock in additional information only. This I have included. This 50% I have included. Now closing stock, if I see, just a minute. So closing stock, it is 8,000 for raw material, 9,000 for work in progress, and 6,000 for finished goods. So that will include in closing stock. So my closing stock is 8,000, 9,000, 6,000. That will give me total 23,000. Now sales or return. Sales or return, here 7,500. Okay, this 7,500. Now this a profit I will not consider when I will give it for sales or return basis. So this 7,500 I will include. 7,500, it is included as add or return. And when I discussed this additional item, I said that when there is some stock destroyed by fire and insurance does not cover it, then that will also included on the sales side. So this 4,000 I will add as stock destroyed by fire, and thus here this total is 34,500. Now 1,42,050 and 34,500, that gives me 176,550. 176,550. I am not doing calculation as everything is here, but for your practice you need to do it. You need to solve this problem first. Okay, whether it will take 30 minutes or 50 minutes or 1 hour, okay, no problem, but you will understand that how to solve this problem and what is happening, right? Okay, so now wages we have, next item is wages. So wages is 12,000. So I will write wage as 12,000. So here we have one entry called wages 12,000. Then if you see additional item, here we have 3,000 outstanding wage. So this 3,000 outstanding wage we add it. So this 3,000 is added outstanding wage, and then 800. So here the wage paid rupees 800 for installing the machine, it should be subtracted. It should not be included. So what we have done here, if you see, we have less for machine rupees 800. Okay, then so in additional item, okay, now one more additional item is there, factory insurance prepaid. Okay, so let us see when that entry will come. Okay, so next item is factory rent and insurance only. Factory rent and insurance, it is 9,000. Now this 9,000 we will write. So 9,000 here we have written to factory rent and insurance. Then the amount which we have prepaid means it is not for this year, so that we will subtract. So prepaid insurance 600 we will subtract. So this additional item, so 9000 minus 600, it is 8400. Now this 8400 will give in this final column. We will subtract this 600. The factory insurance prepaid, okay, this item, now this also covered. So now what is remaining? It is supervisor's salary is remaining. Okay, so let us see. Factory rent and insurance we have included. Carriage outward 7000. Now this carriage outward 7000 we will not record because it is going to be included in profit and loss account. Okay, carriage inward we will include, but carriage outward, so make a note that carriage outward, as this is for a finished good, it is not included in trading account. Then next item is, so carriage outward we will not include. Then supervisor's salary is 18,000. Now this 18,000 supervisor's salary, but in additional item we seen that K out of 3 part, 2 part is for factory and 1 part is for office. So this 1 part which is for office, that we have to subtract from supervisor's salary. So here next if we see, next entry is supervisor's salary 18,000. Now how I will get, how I will divide this 18,000 in ratio 2:1, and how I will get the answer for this 1 part. So it is simple, you write 1 divided by, now sum of these 2 plus 1 is 3, so 1 divided by 3 into 18,000. So this calculation 3 6 are 6,000 will be your office expense, and this you will subtract. So 18,000 minus 6,000 will give you 1200. Then other items are like power, gas and coal, that is 5,000. Then packing charges for goods sold, packing charges, this power, gas and coal 5,000. Okay, then packing charges, again this packing charges, it is going to be, it is office work kind of thing, so it is going to be included, it is included in profit and loss account. So this packing charges we will include in profit and loss account. Return inward we have already included. Import duty, now import duty is 1500, this we include. Royalty on production, this we include, and export duty, this we will not include. Okay, so import duty, here the next item is import duty, that is 1500. Royalty on production, that is 9000. Now we total on this side also. Okay, obviously this side will be less than this 176,550. Okay, you make a total and then you find the difference. Here as we can see, you will get a difference of 48,450. Now this difference of 48,450 will be your gross profit that you will transfer to the profit and loss account. So you will say that profit and loss account gross profit transferred is 48,450. Okay, so this is how we solve a problem related with trading account. Now the next is profit and loss account. So in next class let us discuss that profit and loss account. Here we have discussed 2 problems which are related with trading account. Now how you become a master in this entry, it is only by practice. So what I suggest is that there are good amount of questions at the end of chapter. You try those questions, you find out answers, and thus you will learn how to record transactions, how to record or how to prepare this trading account. Yeah, thank you.